Hello everyone and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Thursday, September 14th, 2017. I'm Michael Schwan.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
Please remember, everyone, you can help support our show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet, as many already have, and helps keep this show running. We appreciate you greatly. We have broken $100 a month, which means that sometime in the near future
I was actually talking to Mike about that last night. Me and him are going to be sitting there and figuring out which beats and what to put over it this weekend. We plan on getting 4 little prototypes for you to choose.
Nice. I'm down for this. It's going to be a terrible, 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 terrible white boy rap, I am sure, especially considering the other white Mike told me that he is going to be rhyming words like two, and two, and there, and there. So, prepare for a big old pile of awful on that front. Otherwise, of course, you can catch us live on Facebook at 6 p.m. Alaska time. The videos are always stored on Facebook. They are also made available on YouTube. And if you are not watching us there, then of course we are available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and anywhere else that podcast can be found. Nathan, how are you doing today?
Pretty tired. Had to run around the building again. This new fucking position I'm in is leaving me absolutely drained.
In a good or a bad way?
No, it's not like leaving my balls drained. It's in a bad way.
Well, I mean, sometimes, like, you do work and it takes a lot out of you, but you feel like, I don't know, accomplished, satisfied at the end of the day. And then there's other jobs
you
where...
never feel that way in customer service.
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed the work I did when I was lifting fridges for Lowe's. Like, if it wasn't for all the managerial bullshit... I mean, a lot of times at the end of the day, I was tired, but I was like, man, I kind of feel like I just got a good workout today. Got to hang out with someone in a truck, met some nice people in their houses. That was cool.
That's fair. There are definitely days in customer service where it's nice, and I bet there are definitely customer service jobs that would be fucking great, like like head shops and whatnot.
Sure.
I mean, I had a lot of fun working at Bosco's when I wasn't pulling my fucking hair out.
Except for that whole getting paid like $8 an hour thing.
Yeah, oh god, that is not a way to live.
Could you imagine? You realize that you were making less than half of what you make now?
Yeah, I do.
And you still don't make dick.
I know. Stop reminding me.
Isn't that depressing as all hell?
Yes, it is. Shut the fuck up.
I'm not in a much better position.
That doesn't matter.
It's like, I'm making so much more than I used to. Oh, life is still not awesome.
Yeah, thank you for reminding everyone.
You're welcome, buddy. Don't worry, we'll talk about suicide and depression later in today's show.
God.
Oh, why? In your exact age range, too. But first, we're going to be talking about something that is just... Yeah, all right. 10. Clinton says it's time to abolish the Electoral College.
This is submitted by I Am Not the Enemy to Art Politics. My thing of the day is actually about Clinton.
You know, the funny thing on this is like, there were people talking about, like, yeah, let's abolish the Electoral College. And I was like, I mean, maybe we can look for an alternative and stuff like that. But now as soon as Hillary Clinton's like, let's get rid of it, everyone's like, fuck it, no,
Yeah, I'm still a fan of banishing the Electoral College, but I've had both sides presented to me, and I feel like I'm going to agree with you in that we maybe not need to abolish it, but need to fix it.
Well, and the thing is like, I feel like any traction that a change or removal of the Electoral College would have gained is completely destroyed the moment that Hillary Clinton was like, I want that gotten rid of.
That's just because everybody hates her at the moment.
Like, well, that's the problem, though, is like, she opened her mouth, and now it's like, damn it, Clinton, we could have accomplished something until you got involved.
Like, her book came out, and people were like, oh, what a fucking sore loser. And I mean, I guess in some ways it is true, but this is a very serious situation.
Am I able to edit this thing on the fly? No, okay. That would have been neat. I had a random question. I can see the audio levels, and one of the words I said a moment ago spiked really bad, and I was like, can I just fix that now? No, I can't do it while it's actively recording. Oh, well, it was worth a shot. But yeah, it's like, the Electoral College is not perfect. Or, damn it, Vivi in the chat room, the Erectoral College. No.
Hey, that hasn't popped up for me yet, but hey!
It hasn't popped up for you yet?
It's a pun!
Oh, kill me.
Ah, fuck, knowing me, it's already popped up and come down.
It's a pun!
So, It isn't a perfect system, and I don't know if there is a perfect system. I personally really like Australia's system, of which you have several people on the ballot, and then the people that got the least number of votes are dropped off, and then you vote again, dropped off, vote again. And
just keep going over and over and over again
until you just have one. And like, I feel like that's a good system instead of the awkward, like,
it's like, oh, it's just these two, lesser of two evils, even though there's other parties, but those don't matter because it's really a bipartisan system.
Yeah, so I feel like our system is definitely very flawed and has improvements, but
I feel like the Australian system promotes the flourishing of multiple parties aside from just two.
Yeah. Well, and the other problem, the one of the other issues that I personally have, then this is purely me speaking, not saying it's a good or a bad thing, is how long the election process goes, because people are going to start campaigning for the 2020 election now. Like, and like
they already are.
Yeah, and there
like Trump's doing it.
The major push for, like, when the candidates really start gearing up will be at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, and that means they're going to be campaigning for 2 years, and that's such a long time. That is
ridiculously long time.
Like, there's so much wasted time and effort in that time frame. And it irks me. Like, even in the state of Alaska, you can start running for an office 18 months before the date of the election. And that's ridiculous, because some of these people that are running are sitting legislators. And it's like, you should be working, not worrying about getting reelected again. I feel like the time frame when you can start running again should be drastically shortened.
Yeah, no, isn't it like in a lot of places around the world they don't campaign for that long? There's a lot of places where they're only allowed to campaign for like 2-3 months.
Like, I don't know what the good time frame would be, especially because, like, in America, the problem is that we're so spread out and we don't have that large of a population for how large we are. So if you want to speak to everybody in person and travel places, there's a lot of places that you need to go. I mean, you know, going from, you know, the major cities in Florida to Texas to, you know, California, around the country, it's difficult because of how large we are. But I don't think, I don't think we need 2 years. I could see, I don't know, 6 months maximum.
Yeah, I was gonna say maximum. I feel 3 months is plenty of time.
Like, my brain originally said like 6 weeks, but that's a really short amount of time.
Yeah, it's a little too short to learn up. No, I feel like 3 months is the perfect time.
But I don't feel like you need that long to really present your stance on things, especially because normally elections are revolved around major issues. So, I mean, you know, it's like, what is the contentious point of, you know, activity right now? Oh, it's, you know, like transgender bathrooms or gay marriage or whatever. Like, you know, at that point, you can broadcast that stance pretty easily, especially between, you know, radio, television, and social media nowadays. You can let people know where you stand on things very quickly, very easily. Tim in the chat room says, you know, visiting places is just symbolism. Why have a meeting when you just say it in an email? And, you know, there's so much time and money that is invested into going to these places and having these rallies, and I don't have enough knowledge in political science to know what level of necessity those hold, but it feels unnecessary.
I feel like it's completely unnecessary. Just the American people, they need to, it's weird. You have to change the way we all think, essentially.
What I would like to see is, like, and it will never happen. It already technically exists, but a standardized system for elections, at least on a presidential level. And there's already a system in place that you can sign up for it if you want to be a presidential candidate. And I don't know all of the qualifications you have to meet, but it basically says you will not accept contributions from anybody for any reason, and the federal government will give you, I think it's like $1 million or something to run your campaign. Now, compared to the amount of money spent in most of the presidential campaigns, it's a disgustingly small amount of money.
Less than the pizza budget.
Right. And it's not $1 million. I don't know the exact number, but I know that it is a substantially smaller amount than what the majority of presidential candidates end up running in their campaigns. But I feel like there should be a point that we reach where it ends up that you goes, okay, everyone who wants to run to be president, okay, your campaigns, you are each given this much money and this much time. Have a good luck. essentially. Like, we'll give each of you $5 million. You're not allowed to start campaigning until 6 months before the date of the election. Go.
No, definitely. I feel like that's a much better plan than we have now.
And, you know, even I'm sure there'd still be flaws in that plan, but there's so much wasted time and money in the one that we have currently.
What people, like, all right, so I have this problem with people. If people find any form of negative impact of a change, even if it's minuscule, they will latch onto it because they absolutely hate change, and I do not understand that. Why would you continue in this busted-ass way when you can change, be hurting for a couple years, and then maybe get better? You're not gonna change. Like, just change. Change is a good thing.
Because it's scary. That's why.
Like, people need to just stop giving a fuck about how scary change is.
Yeah, so.
Because either, if they don't, it's just going to continue to change in a negative way.
Or just, you know, stay stagnant.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how about this? If you have an arrow penetrating your side, you're not going to leave it in there because you're afraid that if you pull it out, you're going to bleed to death. A lot of people are going to pull that son of a bitch out and then immediately start, like, putting pressure on it.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to change the situation.
Nope, I'm just going to leave that arrow in there. Don't worry, the wound is festering, but it should be fine, right?
Oh, God.
9.
School shooting in St. Paul revealed to be a hoax after security guard admits to accidentally shooting himself.
This was submitted by Lemon Sandwich Bitches to our news. Is this the one about the kid who came in, shot the one kid that was bullying him, and then like 3 or 4 girls?
No.
Okay, so that's a different school shooting that happened.
No, this is at the St. Catherine University in St. Paul. A security officer told police that a suspect shot him Tuesday night, and then they immediately launched trying to find out who the suspect was. He gave them a very general description of it. It was like, you know, blue hoodie, jeans. And so they had 55 officers and 4 canine units searching for this suspect. And then they started to be like, I don't know if there's actually a suspect. And so the 25-year-old security officer then admitted that he filed a false report because he was worried that he would lose his job because he brought a firearm to work.
Okay. So I'm going to go back into the chat really quick. Tim says, yeah, you leave the arrow in. And
not forever, though.
No, that's what I'm trying to discuss is like you leaving the arrow in for a long period of time. You're not going to just leave it there for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Not like in the immediate.
Anyway, back to the story.
Okay. So anyways. So the guy brought a gun to school when he wasn't supposed to, and he shot himself.
He was a security officer for the school, brought out firearm to school. It doesn't say whether he was allowed to or not allowed to, but he brought one to work, accidentally shot himself, and then fired a police report saying that somebody broke into the school and shot him.
All right, so he's trying to cover his tracks by accidentally shooting himself.
I'm really curious how he accidentally shot himself and like where.
A lot of people accidentally shoot themselves.
Oh, I know, but it doesn't say where he accidentally shot himself. Like,
is it? Okay, so maybe all right. So let's picture maybe the types of things he could have been doing. He could have been holstering it, in which case, if he's pulling it in like this, he could have shot himself in the side. If he was trying to put it down the back side of his pants or the front side of his pants, he could have shot himself either in the legs or dick or in the ass. Maybe he had it out and he was looking at it and he like accidentally shot himself in the arm or in the foot. Like, there could have been a lot of places he could have shot himself.
Yeah, but depending on where it like was, wouldn't you be a little bit suspect?
Depending, but you really okay. So it's less where it was and more the way it entered.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that they like check right away. That's more what they do with like dead bodies.
Exactly. So that let him get this at least this long away with saying that there was a shooting.
Sure. Either way.
Shame on you.
Yeah. Shame.
Actually, that's funny. That's something I'm going to be discussing on my thing of the day.
8.
Treasury Secretary requested government jet for European honeymoon.
This was submitted by Throwaway Politics to our politics.
we've actually talked about this gentleman and his wife before. This is
Oh God, it's them again.
yeah, it's Stephen Mnuchin, however you pronounce his last name,
No.
and his wife Louise Linton. We talked about them a few weeks ago because
She fucking shat on those people for being poor, right?
yeah, she basically made fun of them for being poor because she was getting off of a plane wearing all this designer stuff. We already talked about that. So, but now, so they recently got married and they want to go on their honeymoon in Europe, which is whatever. I mean, go on your honeymoon wherever you want. And in this case, they requested a government aircraft to take them there.
You don't get to do that.
No, you don't, actually. The government aircrafts are reserved for the president and the vice president and any members of the cabinet that are under either security levels because they're traveling to another country, or if they need to see the president/vice president in a very, very quick amount of time. Otherwise, the answer is no.
Did they get denied their request?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. If their request was granted, I would shit so many angry bricks that my asshole would fissure.
Especially considering that the government jets cost roughly $25,000 an hour to operate.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Him and his wife are actually currently under investigation right now because.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and here's why: is that they took a government plane, to where was it?
Oh no, they literally tried to do the exact same thing they're in investigation for.
Well, they're under investigation because last month they took a government jet, both him and his wife, traveling to Louisville and Fort Knox, Kentucky, at the exact time that the total solar eclipse would be passing over that area.
They're in investigation. They're under an investigation for literally the exact same thing that they just tried to do.
So they're like, did you take government travel to go view the eclipse? And they're like, no. We totally met Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell there to talk about Treasury stuff.
To talk about how fucking sick this fucking eclipse looked.
Yeah, so.
Just god damn it.
You know what, Nathan? But fuck you. You quit being poor, okay? How dare you be poor?
That's all I have to say to those people.
It's like the rich people that are like, why would you be poor? Stop being poor. That sounds awful.
Let me say it in another dialect of English.
7.
Shkreli ordered jailed for online bounty on Hillary Clinton's hair.
This was submitted by I Am Not Horace to our news.
So, Pharma Bro himself, Martin Shkreli, has been thrown in jail.
Oh, God.
He was out on bail.
This is so funny. So stupid.
He was out on bail from December of 2015 on a bail of $5 million.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he paid $5 million to get out on bail regarding the entire investigation about his markup of, what was that, the Daraprim, that's what it's called, when he marked it up by 5,000% and pocketed the majority of the money. So that investigation is still happening. That court case is still happening. But
I just want to point out that you get bail back.
Do you if you get thrown back in jail?
Yes, technically, so in most states, up here, if you are arrested and you pay bail on yourself, there's 2 boxes that you check. One box saying that you do not care if your bail goes to your fines if you are found guilty. The other box is, no, I do not want this money paid to my fines. Send it back to me in a check.
Interesting. So does that mean that, okay, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Now my question is like, with a bail bondsman, they just pay your bail, and then after your case is done, they get the money back, and you owe them a bit more? Is that how that works? So, yeah, that's basically what happens is when you hire a bail bondsman, they pay the large bail for you. Mm-hmm. Then, when your case is over, they get their bail back, and you have to pay them a percentage of that bail. Okay, so it's literally like a specialized loan purely for bail. Mm-hmm. Okay. Pretty much. Makes sense.
And I mean, there are some forms of bail that can only be done by bondsmen.
Interesting. Okay. So, but now, if you break bail for one reason or another, do you still get your money back?
Okay, so if you are out because of the bail and you have a petition to revoke probation and you are sent back to jail, it does not matter if you get fines there. If you check the box saying it gets sent back to you, it gets sent back to you. But that doesn't mean they cannot. That doesn't mean they won't let you go again on a separate bail.
Weird. Okay, either way. So Shkreli was out on a $5 million bail from December of 2015. He recently put out a reward on Facebook for a single strand of Hillary Clinton's hair, in which case he was then brought in because this could be seen as advocating assault.
That's some creepy Lord of the Rings shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering, that for $5,000, people might, tackle Hillary Clinton, this was seen as an aggressive action, and he has been put back in prison.
I'm more worried about him trying to clone Hillary Clinton.
Why would he?
I don't know.
So
because you can do a lot with DNA nowadays.
I suppose, yeah. The solicitation of assault in exchange for money is the actual terminology the judge used. He was encouraging people to assault Hillary Clinton in exchange for money by trying to get a strand of her hair.
Right.
So
because a lot of people aren't thinking ahead and going, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna go and pluck that hair from a broom or something." No, they're gonna be like, "I'm gonna walk up to her and yank that shit out."
Yep. Just people be dumb. Oh Lord.
6.
13-year-old Virgil Smith rescued 17 of his neighbors during Hurricane Harvey on an air mattress.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Oh God. All right, hold on. This was submitted by Frick Frack Snack to Our Uplifting News. I've always dreamed about going down rivers and shit on an air mattress.
Well, in this case, him and his family were trapped on the second floor of an apartment building because the flood had risen that high, in which case he got a message from a friend of his that said that they were trapped in their apartment complex and that he knew that they didn't know how to swim. So he swam down into their house, got a deflated air mattress, took it back up, inflated it, and then swam over to their apartment building with it and started loading people up and swimming them on the air mattress over to his place. Finding 17 people, including an elderly woman in a wheelchair. Wheelchair. Got it.
Take two. Action.
Wheelchair.
Did he do it all at once, or did he go back and forth?
He had to make a couple of trips.
Okay. That would be fucking insane if he did it all at once.
Either way.
That would just prove that Rose could sit on that fucking door without it sinking, you dicks.
Mm-hmm. Stupid. Either
No,
way.
this is fucking sick. This kid should get some kind of fucking giant-ass key to the city or some shit.
There's nothing about...
17 of his neighbors on a fucking air mattress.
Either way, there's not... I mean, I don't know. There's probably more heroes than just him, but damn, good job. You're 13 years old.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's fucking sick. You've done more in your 13 years of life than most people.
He also was quick to point out that he was glad that no snakes or alligators bit him while he was doing it.
No, that's a real fucking thing. I'm super happy, too. Because they're fucking running rampant around down there. Little water moccasins and whatnot.
Sharks swimming down the street.
Hell yeah, dude. Except sharks ain't shit. I've played enough depth.
5.
Bodies of slain children wash up on Bangladesh shores as Rohingya genocide continues in Myanmar.
This is submitted by King 2000 to Our World News.
Yeah, so the tiny bodies of slave children believed to be belong to desperate Muslim families trying to flee Myanmar have started washing up on several shores, the majority of which are washing up on Bangladesh because of the ocean currents. Yeah, it's real gross. It's real bad. Currently, about 400,000 villagers have escaped Myanmar, which is also known as Burma, which is the country's name that you have more likely heard with the majority of our listeners.
I mean, everyone has heard of a Burmese python.
So now, right now, a community leader has said that the military and police are attacking and slaughtering groups as they attempt to flee. Now, the Myanmar Burmese government has said no, they are currently, fighting against militants, essentially people that are fighting back against their government, and those are the only people that are being attacked, but every other report from everywhere else says otherwise.
Either way, these are children washing up. Like, they shouldn't be dead.
No, they shouldn't. And, like, not to say there are good ways to get rid of a people, but if you are to that point, like, I mean, there are more humane ways to get rid of people.
Exile them from your country. I'm sure there's definitely people who will take them refugees.
Like, well, we already talked about it. We talked about it yesterday of the countries that will take in refugees. I'm not saying that that is okay, but I think the majority of the world would rather you just force them out than slaughter them in droves.
I would rather have mass exile than genocide.
Yeah. Especially when little bag babies are floating up on the shores.
Yeah, that's not okay.
I'm real glad that there's no, like, full visual pictures here, because I would not handle that well.
Oh, I'm pretty sure no one would, and that's why they don't.
Mm-hmm. So.
4.
Solar now costs 6 cents per kilowatt hour, beating government goal by 3 years.
This was submitted by Mepper to our technology.
Solar's getting cheaper. Solar's getting cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
So the Department of Energy announced that utility-grade solar panels have hit cost targets set for 2020. So that means that these are about as cheap as they're going to be in terms of solar panel production, because now they're going to be looking at making them more stable rather than more affordable. Excuse me. So if you're interested in, like, if you're waiting for solar to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, well, this is probably about as cheap as it's going to be moving forward. And I'm not saying buy it now because it's going to get more expensive. We've hit about the price that we will see it at for the perceptible future. And now now you want to think of, like, do you want to invest now or do you want to wait for them to get the better, more efficient ones?
I feel like we should all invest now, because the money we're going to invest now is going to benefit it in the long run.
Tim says everybody needs their own solar panels and a wind turbine. I agree. The cost is the largest hindrance, though. Like, it's the biggest barrier.
Okay. So what you do is you make it a law that they have to have a wind turbine on their roof. That's half of it right there.
What about places like, there's not much wind in Anchorage, though?
That doesn't matter. They pay once for a wind turbine on their roof, and then, even if they don't make back their money, that's all right. They're not getting slapped with fines.
Sure. I feel like you'd have a lot of pushback for that, though.
Sure.
Like an immense amount.
Okay, then maybe solar or something.
Anything that forces people to spend money or get fined money is just immensely difficult, because people hate that kind of thing.
I know, and it's stupid.
But, I mean, I feel like instead what you could look at, and I know that this isn't nearly as good of what you were talking about, is instead pass a law that requires all new buildings to have solar panels installed on them.
There you go.
I mean, it wouldn't solve the problem, but it'd be a massive step forward that doesn't immediately cost people money that have, like, already built their house, but make it where that new structures have to have it.
I'm a fan of that. Any new or structures that need that, like, if you're going to be renovating, especially like your roofing area, they should put them up to date.
You could also look at a law that requires buildings beyond a certain size to have them, because where it mostly affects, like, multi-story office buildings, because then you are not putting the burden on the individual homeowner and are instead looking at putting it on larger businesses, which could, put it off as a tax write-off, business expense, etc.
Like, they need more of those.
Hey, whatever gets it installed.
Sure.
So either way, progress. That didn't pace any.
And Tim provides a good point. It's not like the software is going to expire. You have old ones, you get new ones. they're always going to be in use.
Yep, unless something breaks it. So
there you go. Tim also has another $1 million idea. Window glass that is also solar panels.
those already exist, actually.
See, there you go.
They're not as efficient as actual solar panels, but they do exist.
Sure, that's still, a good start.
I mean, we're to the point now where there's a ton of things that are solar powered. I mean, you can get solar powered windows, solar panels, solar tiles, because Tesla, SpaceX, one of those, Elon Musk, just made the actual, roofing tiles that are solar panels themselves. Isn't there like a form of paint that manages it now?
I think so.
So, I mean, and then there's also, for anything that doesn't cover, there's kinetic energy that's able to be produced. Like there's the roadways that produce energy from the cars rolling over them, the kinetic energy sidewalks that produce energy. So there's lots of options. So.
Yep, let's just implement them.
Suicide attempts among young adults between the ages of 21 and 34 have risen alarmingly, a new study warns.
This was submitted by Wagamaga to Our Science.
So if you're somebody that likes to click on our articles, I warn you now that this link actually links to the actual study. This is not an article that breaks it down in simple terms. Like, no, this is the full-on problem analysis, hypothesis, etc. Like, it's a full-on journalistic paper rather than a news article. And basically what it is that people between the ages of 21 and 34, between the ages of 21 and 34 are getting depressed because of the way that society has presented itself, and they don't have any support groups, so they're killing themselves a lot.
I can completely understand.
And they're encouraging for what the study is trying to push is for there to be a support system developed, as well as a sense of community and togetherness of a structure that is developed, so that these people feel as though they actually have like a home that they're okay with and happy with, so that they don't feel the need to off themselves.
Everyone just needs to be more accepting, more open.
What to people? In what way?
To more open to letting your emotions out and talking it out. More, what was the first thing I said? It was more, just able to listen to people, more helping them, and less, oh, I don't want to hear it, go away.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone is so focused on themselves, it seems.
Mm-hmm. And I read something about America that made me go, yeah, no, definitely. And it's that American citizens oftentimes will only do stuff in the form and after like something really bad has happened, because we all have this general want to be the hero.
Tim in the chat room says, are we sure we know why? Do the researchers know that is the reason why? I feel like that is a huge facet for debate. The only thing I'm going to say on that is really like, if you put the work into it, you can find research to say whatever you want. And more often than not, these studies are funded by somebody with a bias. So they want a specific result quite often. So that might be the reason why the researchers gave this reason.
And if they don't like the result, they can just, not publish it.
If that's the case, I don't know. But that's what this particular study says. So take that how you will. But, I mean, you can see, at least on the surface, that suicide numbers of that age group have risen. You can try and attribute it to multiple different reasons, but we can see that the numbers have gone up. So it doesn't change, like, even if their reasoning for it is bad or is inaccurate or is full-on incorrect, it doesn't change that we need to address the problem and try and create a solution for it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we have to do that change before things get even worse.
Yeah. So, either way, and really the easiest way to take this, and I don't mean this specific study, just in terms of the concept of suicide at all, is really if you are experiencing any of those ideations, if you have suicidal thoughts in any form, call somebody. Even if you have anyone that you can trust, call them. If you're not comfortable with calling them, call the suicide helpline. I'm going to give you the number right now because I don't actually know it off the top of my head. So I'm going to look that up for everybody. Suicide hotline. Ba-da-dum. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255 or 273-TALK, because that's one of the big important first steps is talking about it. I have had in the past suicide ideations back when I was like 14 years old, I think, and my brain at the time was thinking about it, but my brain also understood you shouldn't be thinking about this. So luckily I was able to take some facets to prevent myself from doing such things and finding ways to not have those thoughts again. And most people can bounce back from it, but they don't feel as though there's an avenue for them to take. So if you are having those thoughts, either ask someone or talk to someone that you trust, or call the helpline 273-TALK, 273-8255. And if you think someone else might be, because like I know Nathan, but like Nathan is self-deprecating beyond all get out. But it's normally one because life sucks, and two because it's fucking funny, not because I genuinely believe that Nathan is at risk of harming himself.
I'm a comedian, and that's what comedians do.
But if you do believe that someone is at risk, either talk to them or call someone else.
I'm a comedian not by choice.
Out of necessity, so that you don't fall into horrible depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that. There we go. So, yeah.
2.
Zach Braff discovered he's been used to advertise erection pills in Ukraine.
He's been advertised election pills?
No, erection.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about the Electoral College again. This is submitted by Heskimo88 to R Not the Onion.
If you want to play the game, play the game. I have to do this.
Oh.
Sorry. The kid is trying to talk to me when she knows she's not supposed to right now. I already told her the stuff that she was allowed to do, and she's trying to talk to me, and I can't hear with headphones and stuff in. Anyway. So what were you saying? I'm sorry?
Oh, I was saying... I thought we were talking about the Electoral College again.
No, unfortunately not. Although I'm sure that if someone could figure out a way to try and produce and sell political pills, they would totally do so.
They do. It's called Viagra.
Is that really a political pill? Or is that just like a universal thing that is sold everywhere for reasons?
I was going to say it's mostly a thing because it's sold to old people for either heart disease or for getting a boner, and most politicians are old people.
Sure. Either way, this isn't actually that new. It's just, interesting and comical because it's like, yeah, dick pills. But very often in foreign countries, well, I don't want to say foreign countries, countries where that particular actor is not going to commonly be, they'll use that person's likeness in an attempt to sell additional product.
That is a foreign country.
Well, I mean, the reason that I say that is because there are probably American companies that use other people's likenesses here that we won't realize are illegal to use.
Right, and... Okay, and my point is, to them, we would still be foreign.
Sure. Either way, Zach Braff looked into it and found that he was using his likeness, people were selling erection pills, computer repair, and something else. If I can find it here. Don't know. Either way, yeah.
Not only him, but Zac Efron. There's a bunch of people on Twitter showing all of these different pictures of people, like Bill Gates, Morgan Freeman, fucking Britney Spears.
Mm-hmm. And Chadwick says that's probably hard to deal with the legal system there, and I'm too lazy to keep the puns going. Y'all on your own. I get it. It's probably hard to deal with erection case. But yeah, it probably is actually quite difficult. I'm not sure what action you are able to take here. In this case, Timothy...
All of them faces, like picture shots.
Yeah, it's just pictures. Like they're on billboards or flyers, stuff like that.
And there are times when foreign entities will hire American actors. For instance, because in Call of Duty, not Modern Warfare, the future one, Advanced Warfare.
Sure.
Because in that one, there's
Infinite Warfare.
I don't know.
That's the newest one with like super future.
No. not the newest one. I guess just the regular future one.
Okay, Advanced Warfare.
So in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, there's like Nazi zombies or something again, or one of the newer ones.
Anyway.
And in China, they can't show bone or anything, so they made a separate trailer for it that had like zombie robots, right? Or Nazi robots, not instead of Nazi zombies. The point is, in that trailer, they had Chris Evans act.
Interesting.
And that was only released in China.
I am disappointed.
Yeah. You can watch it on YouTube. This shit's awesome.
Nah, I'm over it.
1.
Scientists find fungus with an appetite for plastic and rubbish dump.
This was submitted by Mavia to our science.
So we've actually talked about similar things before, but the reason that this is different is we found previously bacteria that were able to eat and process plastic. This is actually a fungus that breaks down plastic, dissipates the bonds, allowing it to be decomposed.
So it's not just bacteria, but fungi can do it too.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Mushrooms are truly amazing.
So, like, it's just cool.
Mushrooms can do anything.
It also, like, people like, plastic will be here for 1,000,000 years. Nah, Mother Nature will consume everything if we just leave her alone for a while.
Yeah, I mean, eventually we all succumb to decay.
Like, Mother Nature eventually will reset everything if she wants to. I mean, she's already tried. I mean, look at Texas and Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Bitches.
Tim points out that WoW is also different in China. The Forsaken don't have bones. Anything that is portrayed with bones has to be changed for the Chinese servers.
And when you die, you don't leave a corpse. You leave a tombstone.
Yep. For instance, in Smite, Hades originally looked all bones, and they changed him altogether
to look like the Disney character.
No.
Oh, damn it! I'm disappointed.
Which I wish there was a Hades skin. You know.
Yeah, that would be the best.
That would be fucking sick. What I really wish is for someone who punches really much, like Ravan or the Hindu god Ravan or the is it Greek or Roman god? No, it's Roman god Mercury, because in that game he punches.
Sure.
I want them to have a Star Platinum skin from JoJo, and for whenever they punch to go ora 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 ora
ora ora ora ora
muda 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 muda
mada mada. Anyway, this one.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks! Look at me!
Wait, then what'd you care about in the last 24 hours?
I've alluded to it twice already.
I'm listening.
So if people can put it together, I have talked about Hillary Clinton and shame. Ding, 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 shame. Ding, ding, ding. So in Hillary Clinton's new book, she has an excerpt where she talks about how at Trump rallies, since they were like calling for her to be arrested and everything, at Trump rallies, she felt like Cersei Lannister. So she compared herself to Cersei Lannister.
I have not watched Game of Thrones, but I know enough about that character to know that you would never want to be
Ever.
Cersei Lannister.
Never in your life do you ever want to be Cersei Lannister.
Like,
except for the fact that she is currently the queen of Westeros.
Yeah, at the
Arguable queen.
At the same time, though, no.
And then people on Twitter are like, yep, no, Hillary is Cersei Lannister. Married for power, involved in questionable criminal acts, sore loser, total liar, hates religion. Married for power, got away with so much, and isn't in jail only because she's above rule of law.
I mean, I guess if the crown fits, own it.
I mean, I guess in Game of Thrones it isn't really. I guess it is the crown, but really it's the throne. Like, let's be real.
What doesn't the throne like cut you up and shit though? Because it's
yes, okay. In it doesn't show it in the TV show, but in the books, one of the kings, I think it was the Mad King actually. One of his nicknames was the King of Scabs, because he would have scabs all along his arms and his back because he would relax too much in the throne. And that's because the throne is made out of an assload amount of swords, but it was made purposely where some of the swords are poking out because it was a symbol that kings couldn't get lazy. If you got too lazy, you're going to hurt yourself.
Interesting. Huh. Okay. Did you have anything else for your for today?
No, that was it.
Cool. I have two things. One involves Rick and Morty in that there is a fantastic goddamn remix of I'm Mr. Meeseeks going around Facebook, and it's awesome.
Oh my god, you need to send it to me.
I'm pretty sure I tagged you in it.
You might have. Actually, I think you did.
I think I did. Either way.
Yes, I do remember that. I watched it on my lunch break.
Okay, hang on. I need to reply to something in the chat room real quick. David Chadwick says, as a Republican, I want nothing more, literally nothing, than more Hillary. I hope she never goes away. She's amazing for our politics. It's true. Hillary Clinton just makes winners. She makes stars out of everybody. Like, anyone that's not her.
People just hate her and have hated her.
Like, she just makes everything, like, if you're on the Republican side, you're like, oh my god, I love Hillary. She makes everything we want to do easier. And if you're on the Democrat side, you hate her because she's like, would you just go away? Everything we want to do, you make more difficult or straight up impossible. Like, she's the literal boogeyman of politics. Like, she's the person that you don't want to be associated with, ever. Like, in any way, shape, or form.
And I hate to say it, but, like, not just the assholes around the world, but she also kind of put herself in that situation.
Oh, no, she chops off her own feet all the time.
It's really unfortunate.
It is. But either way, the other thing that I cared about in the last 24 hours was the ridiculousness that is people. So, I was working today, and I had 10 people that I needed something from them. And I was like, if I don't get these, I have to charge them money. It's this long, annoying process. I don't want to do it, right? Not because I didn't want to do the work, because it's such a pain in the ass for everyone involved. When I literally need one piece of paper with their name, address, a city, and their signature on it. That's all I need. It's just this one piece of fucking paper. And I've been trying to get it from these people for 2 weeks. And I had asked the clerk that they should have been working through if they had one, and they're like, no, we don't have those documents. Okay, so I kept trying to get it from the people, right? Yeah, I saw that little look you gave just now, like, what the fuck? Anyway, so I asked I sent an email to the clerks like, hey, will you help me get these forms? I don't have contact information for everybody. No response. Sent them a follow-up email 2 days later. Can I either get the contact information? I'll do it myself. No response. And so after not getting these forms for like 2 weeks, I called the clerk's office. They have 4 fucking clerks, 3 of which weren't there, and 1 of which just happened to be away from their desk. Left them an email that was like, hey, if I don't get these forms, I have to start assessing people penalties and charging them money. I had all of the forms within 15 minutes. Fuck people.
Yep.
Like, and like, most of those forms are dated at minimum 2 weeks ago, most 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, fuck you. Jesus.
Yeah. I hate how people only do things if they feel pressured.
Like, stupid. Like, it literally took you 15 minutes to grab those forms, scan, and email them to me. Yeah. I'm glad tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah, so am I.
All right. You ready to get out of here? Let's get the hell out of here. Let's get out of here.
Hey, I have to talk to you something about tomorrow anyways. Actually, continue.
Okay, I need to talk to you about something tomorrow anyway. So,
okay.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here. Everybody, if you enjoy the show, if you get value from it, consider showing us some value back by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet. If you can spare $1 a month, $12 a year, please send that our way by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet and help support this show, help it grow. Otherwise, follow and share us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All of those are at iReaditCast. As always, you can follow the show on YouTube, Facebook. You can also listen to the show by downloading it on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or anywhere else that podcasts are found. Leaving us a 5-star review on any of those platforms helps us immensely by increasing visibility. Otherwise, you can find me at Schwan Michael and Nathan at Bimmenstein on all of those platforms as well.
Except for Steam.
Except for Steam. And of course, everybody, if you have a story you want us to talk about, even if it's not a recent one, or you just got something you want to say, send us an email to our inbox, which is feedback.ireadit@gmail.com, or call and leave us a voicemail at 508-738-2278. That is it, everybody. That is your 350th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
And please remember, everybody,
Don't get deleted!
have a good day, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.